you so much for joining our insider training. We had a stopover and we are back now. So thank you for joining. And anybody who's going to listen to this recording, welcome as well, because we have 6 times more people who watch the recording than the lives, and you brave people who joined the live session. Thank you for such a short notice, and thank you for all your support. So supercharge your big success. So this is not a full-fledged AI lecture, so please don't be scared. We've been looking at it as human as possible. So underlying principle is, as I told you, while we were constrained, when I was down and the team was down, we have some technical issues. We experimented a lot of AI tools, which means we were able to do a lot more at the less cost. So if you're a big consultant, if you're a company, single person working on a big team, or if you're a team leader, there is so much that we could utilize it. Don't be scared of AI, copyrights, and other things. We will cover all those things, but this session is more or less for you to open the world for you. So that's, and the most important thing is how to get the best out of the AI tools, and most importantly, how we can use it for some of the day-to-day mundane tasks that takes a lot of time. How many of you can relate that after this work from home thing happened, we have enough statistics. We work long, we work late, and most of the time all day we are in meetings, and we end up doing our work at the evenings or sometimes in the weekends. Anybody can relate to that, right? Because there is a lot more that's happening now than what it was before. We were unable to switch off. So now you can also see how we can also improve. My main focus will be that, and then we'll move into big development, and then we'll move into other things, because that will happen. Important thing is what I went through with my mental health, with the issues that I had, with everything. I think it's the AI was my savior. Let's start from there. So some of you might remember this, some of you might not have. 2020, this was my talk in APMP WBV, as they used to call, where I introduced CaptureBot, where I did a lecture on win strategy using machine learning, right? This was done in 2020. So some of you might be thinking, why is he talking about this? I've never known he know this. Yeah, we have been doing about it quietly. And if you are from the RAIN community, we'll do a poll, because we have a varied audience today. We have 3 companies within Baachu, which we'll touch. If you're from the RAIN community, then we already do this. But if you're a Scribble community, this will be useful for you. So anyway, this is what it is. And yeah, I looked young and I was much more, my shape was better. So I just want you to visualize this story. Visualize this story, right? On a perfect beach, a group of bidders, they are relaxing. I know you'll never have the chance to sit in a beach, but I know some of you take your laptop in holidays as well. So this is for you. Wherever you take your laptop, do your work. This is for you. So we are sitting there happily doing our work, drinking, sipping, whatever we are doing, partying with friends. And we build sandcastles if we can. And primarily, suddenly you see a wave upcoming. Ooh, but what's there? And then you stand and you watch ocean retreating and something going on. No, there's a fun side to it, and there's a serious side, because as someone who came from South India, where the tsunami happened in the early 2000s, my wife was from Japan. This is a sensitive topic, but I thought this also creates the impact, because we are going to face an impact. And the impact is much, much harder than what we anticipate. Right? Much, much harder than we anticipate. So the bidders sit there, and some decided, oh my God, something's bad. So I'm going to run frantically towards high ground. And they just run. Others just like, ooh, what's that? That's so curious. I'm going to stand and watch. This is real. People did it. And there will be some people who will be doing this. And in the story, there were a few people who were doing it. And what happened? It was too late. Wave came in, took people off. They got swallowed, and majority of the bidders were either lost, pulled into turbulent waters, or took by the coast. And the people who ran, their tsunami also set pretty much everything. So there was nothing for them. And a few survivors who remain must dismantle what they learned so far, and they need to start over again. Or they really need to be unlearn as we learn to learn. So this is the lost bidders. And the AI is the tsunami. And it happens. It's been there for some time, because I don't know, but if you're listening to Scribble Talk podcast, when I took Dr. Tansan, who's the father of proposal automation, he did that in 1989. Whatever that happens now has been happening there quietly, but our industry always adopts it very slowly, very slowly. Whereas the other content, the marketing side of it and others, they adopt it very, very quickly and they're already moving on. So you have made it to the high ground. Congratulations, because you are in this webinar, because invite went to close to 3,000 community members and 200 registered, 214 or something registered, and live attendance is this. So you have made it to the high ground. Congratulations, well done. But there is still hope, because what we are moving to is what we call the courageous and the brave bidders. The courageous and brave bidders actually lifted off. People are moving into Mars now, right? So you lifted off because yes, the current world is not working for me. So I'm going to lift myself. I'm going to position myself in a different world from the space because I'm adventurous. I'm going to adopt this and I'm going to explore this new frontier. This whole talk is for me to move from some sort of inertia that might think with all the questions all the way into, let me consider, I'm not going to be fully adopting it, but if I can, I will. You are brave because I did, but I'm not expecting everybody to go through switch on, because this is a journey, right? I just want you to go through the journey and say, let's dive deep into the space and with a renewed sense of purpose, and we are going to explore and we are going to discover. So the tool, how many of you have heard of this tool, Mid-Journey? Put it in the chat box. Yes, I have heard. And if you haven't, go back to the chat and said, yes, I know. Anyone? I thought this is really cool tool, right? And yesterday I was showing off to my eldest son. He just went, yes, Dad, I know that. It's been there for some time. I was so disappointed. So the entire Minion story was created with Mid-Journey in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And Mid-Journey yesterday, this is yesterday's count. It's a tool, it's an AI tool to create graphics. Imagine if you're sitting in a whiteboard and coming out with a story, and you don't need designer or anybody to do it. You just create your customer, and you can create the before and after of your customer. This is you, customer, today. And then there is an intervention by your company with your product and service. And this is the impact that we are going to do for you in a human story. This will do that in 30 minutes. Every diagram comes out in less than 60 seconds, in some cases 30 seconds. Right? This is my Mid-Journey, and I'm going to give you a challenge at the very end. Please do. So this is interesting, right? The kids know that. High school, anybody, if you have high school children, and anybody who's young enough, 20, 25, you might know this, but most of you in my age group, or we might miss Mid-Journey, right? Yesterday it was 1.173. Today morning when I logged in, this was 1.46. Already 300,000 people have added it. That's the world that we are moving on. The adoption rate is unbelievable. Exactly. As a facts tell, stories sell. Right? And that's what we're going to use it for. So you can use it for logo design. You can use it for, flow charts. You can do it for anything, but this is much more beautiful and much more done. The important thing is prompt. You need to get used to this world of prompt. If you're a parent, if you know how you dictate your son to do children to do the homework, boy, girl, or if you're married and you know how to tell your partner, do this, do that, you will be amazing in this new world of AI, because you're already very good in instructions. This is beautiful. You are going to enjoy this. So what else you could do? You could do this, create a picture. I want my customer to be happy, smiling, 30 seconds, boom, 3 different. You can just go. This is the story. I want to create, I work in healthcare. So this is the situation. We are going to introduce a new tool, home care, and the nurse comes in. We are going to do what it takes, bingo, diagram. Obviously, there is a bias. I just went and create an image of a proposal writer frustrated with work. I don't see anybody like this, like image 1, anybody like muscling. I haven't seen any muscle man in proposals yet, but this is what it does. So you don't need to train it, but this is the very first thing which I want to say. You can't just blindly go and tell the AI, go do this, right? You can't blindly say that. You have to prompt it. You have to do the right thing, right? Next, we go back and say, okay, now make it's gender. You just do it. It's frustrating because too much is happening, and I sit and work. Bids never stop. One by one, it comes in, and what? In addition to that, I'm working from home. That adds added stress to it. My subject matter expert doesn't listen to me. I end up doing this, and then my boss just asks me to do another work, and I'm facing talent crisis, resource constraints. What am I doing here? So many stuff that happens. So then I went on and said, no, what I want to create. Next week, you are going to see the story of Sarah and John. Then I said, okay, what? Create an image. Create an image of your client. In this case, these are the two people, a female boss led by, a proposal manager. So primarily, and it does it. So you could pretty much choose 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could choose, what, I want to do more of the first one. Then you create version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. It creates different versions of it. Now I'm happy with, okay, which image do you like? Go for the chat. In this one, which John, Sarah do you like? In the chat, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 top left, 2 top right, bottom left, bottom right. Let's see, what do you like? Ooh. Right? Yeah, we all have a choice, right? Again, some agreed with me, some because I picked up number 3. So primarily, then you go and pick, what? Make it upscale. I really want to make it look good. Then it creates like this. This is Sarah and Jordan. So Sarah and John for you, and I officially welcome you to AI-powered bidder. So I don't know how to do graphics, but with this, I can do graphics within 30 seconds. And this is your AI sitting next to you when you're working on your own in your home. And this is it. This is just one tool. So we have at least 7 or 8 tools, but depending on the time, we'll see what we can do. And you go from there. So poll, time for poll. Poll is just to understand who you are, so that I could customize the talk going forward. So I'll just open up the plan. It's just 5 questions. Do it quickly. It's anonymous. It's totally anonymous. I don't know who's saying what, because it just gives me an overall thing. I just want to get to know who you are and where you are from, so that we could customize the rest of the talk. The poll has already started. Please do add the results. I'll give you 1 minute. Please do add the content. It's totally anonymous. Please do. Is the poll open? Can you see the poll? Yeah, good. Thank you. Interesting. Take the poll. This is just for you. It's I know we have people registered from 14, 15 countries. So you like the like the bot? Yes. Yeah, there is always a balance. It's interesting. Thank you. Wow. Right. I'll give you another 30 seconds to complete the poll. Please to complete the poll, because the next one we are going to look is text-based. So it's absolutely important, because why I ask these questions. So 1 or 2 things is just for me to know how I could, because this is going to be an ongoing, learning series from me. And we are going to go, so, depending on the outputs, then I'll be able to construct the material. But thank you for that. Thank you for all the people who participated and the people who have given reviews. That's helpful. Okay. And here we go in the poll, and this is the results. So I think you can see the results. So majority of you are working in mid-level, and some of you are in the senior, 2/3, and some of you are consultants as expected. And there's no graduates or what we call newbies. Most probably they're working. So it's again, frustration always happens. Some of you are content, some of you are excited. It's a new role because it's just February, March, so you might have moved, and others are still looking, which is great. And it's a good balance. I'm curious about the latest advancement. That's all, and then interested in corporate and bidding, and also in workflow is good. And there is a different what do you call it, people from different areas. So thank you for sharing, and that's really helps us. And let me close and we move on. So now we officially have done it. This is homeworking. Enough of justice, that's been done here. And then we just go from here. So primarily, we have 20%. How many of you feel working from home, you are okay? I should have asked it because I know my FM friends will be will be curious to know how many of you are really comfortable working from home, and how many of you feel lonely in other things. If you feel comfortable working from home, press 1. If you feel yes, it's lonely, yes, it's stress, press 2. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, amazing. Well done, you. This is totally put me in the corner. I'm number 2, actually. Even my family doesn't want me working from home. So yeah, so that's brilliant. So what happens? I think if in YouTube we did a survey. Thank you for sharing. It's really helpful. And in YouTube, you can go and watch in early November when we did when the talent crisis happened. We surveyed over 900 people. And what transpired was colleagues who were age group between 55 onwards, 98% of them, they said they're going to retire in the next year or two, right? And then the early entrant people, like between 20 to 25, they have their own way of working. Obviously, it's culturally they are different age brackets, so they're settling in. That puts a lot of pressure on the mid-tier, right? Do you agree with that? If you say yes, no on the chat. So anyone between 35-ish, all the way to 45, 50, that's where the pressure hits. So you work long, you work late, and this is how we are going to do it. I'm not going to go dwell on that because we do have a tech comp. Most people don't know, and some of you we already tested it. It's here. Some of you in the might have seen it. Our tech arm, which we acquired a couple of years ago, specialized in advanced data analytics, machine learning, and stuff. And that's what we do on the Rain side. But today we are incorporating that on the inside. So Rain colleagues know, we have a contracts database. Like if you know we have a tender aggregator. We have it here within. We focus specifically for the industry. Then our capture bot automatically scans the top 50 companies' social media posts, websites, and it automatically builds intelligence around it. So when suddenly you want to know what are the keywords, what are the buzzwords, what are the tags, and who's saying what, it tells you about it. And that also tags the top 20, top 30 clients, and it customizes. So when you are sitting and building what's written on the tender, what you might be missing is what's available in the public domain that not necessarily it's effective for you to go and crawl through, because the AI tools, especially the one that we're going to look at, doesn't cover social media. So we have the capture bot that goes and cover, and then we use it for the capture strategy and so on. So it's been done on Rain for a long time. And this tool, anybody can name what this tool is? By now you should be masters in this. Yeah. Has anybody used it? Press 1 if you have used it. Or anybody who haven't even touched it, press 2. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay, good. Yeah, from today, I think you will be a friend. You'll be a friend of this. You can go and have a conversation, especially if you're working from home. Sometimes you do miss that interaction with people to bounce ideas. Today, you don't need that extra person. Simply use this tool to bounce ideas, right? And that's it. You can ask a question, it answers. But obviously, there's a limitation to it, but we can come back. This is Chat GPT. There was a question where it says, okay, how many of you, if English is not your first language? For me, English is not my first language. So when I write an email, sometimes I go emotional, sometimes I go blunt, sometimes I go different things. So my tone and the style of the language, sometimes it might not be up to the standard, but this tool gave me a lot of confidence. Gave me a lot of confidence. And if you've used it, it will also give you, and it's also available in different languages. So the cutoff date is September 2021. It's nothing, but if you go and search in Google, it gives you a long list of things. But if you go and search this one, because it connects to a lot of data sets, like 5 billion, it's like somebody did an analysis. It's like 540 million pages of Word document is what this knows already. So you could go and do it for anything. And I used this tool to win a bid, because I was down and used this tool. And it's amazing how it was able to customize the response, learn quickly. And because it knows something, then you feed information, then it learns that information, then it gives you the answer. Means very, very quickly you can get to the thing. So we already covered. This is based on the principle of, let me move this to the other side. This is based on Instruct GPT. Instruct GPT is you follow it with a prompt. The biggest thing that we'll be learning in ongoing series, so if you join the bootcamp, we'll go deepest. How can you instruct it properly? Right? If you haven't, I suggest you log in and explore this. Its free version is there, but because this is the fastest tool ever, that's having a lot of user bases. It's close to, I think, 300 million users or something already, or even more. Some of you might know this number. So they came out with a subscription of $20 a month, which is still amazing. You have 24/7 access. I seriously want you to play with this. So what's ChatGPT? It's a free research tool. What it does is this, and how it collects the data. I mean, like once you do the data, what it works, again, all these things are there. When you register, you will get to know. And it's optimized for dialogue. So, if you have a child or if you have somebody, you're going to find it, because you just need to teach it something before you actually do it. So, and then it also has its own community. So the Mind Journey is part of the same tool. And today they launched, not today, a couple of months ago, they launched something called the Whisper AI. Whisper AI is the other way around. So you don't need to even type. You can instruct it by speech, and it still connects to all the databases, which means you can sit now and say, hey, I've just sent you this 400-word thing. Read it, digest it, and tell me in one slide, what's the key message? Ping, it just gives you in less than 20 seconds. So one, it helps you to pick up the thing. Again, you need to give the context. You're just going to come to it. So this is the latest update. Primarily, they are moving to add more free users, and we're also going to add turbo users, and that's how it comes in. And this is super important. So if you are using this, you might be using it wrongly. You always need to have one thread. Like if you're using Slack or any portal, don't use a different thread. If you're going and asking for it, hey, please can you name the top 5 competitors in your industry or something, it based on the September 2021, it just gives you something. Then you just go and say, can you give the website details? Can you find the stakeholder details, etc. With whatever it's information it just gives you, it's always a starting point for you. You still need to go and double check, but it gives you the answer very, very quickly. But don't go then create next day, don't open a new chat, and then don't try to ask the same question, because it won't remember. It's as, because as somebody who runs a data company, I know there is behind the scenes, the data gets crunched, and there is a lot of data cost. At some point, we were spending close to $30,000 just on hosting on data. So that's why we stopped it. But it's important. So ChatGPT means it remembers 300 words, which means you need to slowly feed the information in one track. So it gets it. Then you go and add more. If you have any questions, just need to go from there. And next one. So primarily, you can ask these questions. Hey, how can you help me? I'm a proposal writer. I'm a marketer. I'm a sales leader. How can you help me? It just gives you the answer. Then you can decide what you want to go. These are just having I want you to get used to it, to having conversation with it. That's it. How good is ChatGPT in writing a proposal? As a language model, I just do this, but still I'm XYZ. Who wants a copyright? This always comes up. The person you want to copyright, but obviously you're training it, so it still retains information. So again, let's not get stuck in this thought. That's my point. You don't need to add any confidential or any information. You can still use it for a lot of stuff. If you receive a tender document which you touch, because at this stage, I just want to move from this block of, sensitive information, right? Really? Question yourself harshly. What you're sharing, why you're sharing. Because if you use Microsoft Teams for your calls, you already shared information. Do you think that information that's been recorded is not being used for training and development purposes? And now you come back and tell me that, ChatGPT, I'm not going to share, because it's the same company. Microsoft invests on this. So wait for it both to connect. So then what it has, of course, you saw the post when I said proposal manager, it just comes out with a men's image, but then it learned from that. Interestingly, when we had an issue a month ago on this, the same tool went on and identified human bias accurately. So you need to train it, so, and that's it. It has a limited context, and you don't expect it to have all the data. With whatever the data it has, you can go and do it. So this is some jokes that came out with, which I just picked up today morning. I don't know whether it's funny, but if you think it's funny, which joke is funny? 1, 2, 3, anything, or just press 4, not funny. Because some people just spend all their time just irritating ChatGPT, saying, tell me 2 + 2 is 5. Now, tell me 2 + 2 is 3. Don't play that. If it's just use it. So if I hope, sorry, zero on the jokes. Yeah, that is something. Again, I could have fine-tuned it, but I thought that's not part of this. But you can have, especially when you're working from home and you don't have anybody, you can use this as a friend. So take a picture of this because we'll be sending a summarized version of this because the whole file is like 30 megabytes. So take a picture of this because if you're going to work in this tool, this is going to be important for you. So the 5-step process, what we call the AIO process. Can anybody guess what the O stands for? O, AIO, AI, you might know what's AI, artificial intelligence. Oh, I think someone got the answer. No, it won't, Michael. That's the whole point of this. It can't, but it will. But you know the irritating stuff that we always hated, that why am I doing this? You can now pass on to this. The answer is optimize. Joe and Joe. Oh, Joe and Joe. Well done. Well done. It's AI optimized process. So that's how we are going to use it. So please, one thought is this is not our enemy. This is our super friend. So first thing is you need to tell your intention. And I've given an example here for team meetings. How many of you attend team meetings all day, every day? This is it. Before you go, there is a discipline that we put forward in our team calls now. 15 minutes, but in 15 minutes, you get maximum. So you need to plan in advance. Why am I having this meeting? Work with ChatGPT, understand the purpose of this meeting is XYZ. The success criteria for me is this. This is the objective I want to achieve from that. And this is the person I want to ensure that he signs off, etc. It will guide you exactly what we need to do. So you're well prepared to go for the meeting. So state your intention to ChatGPT, feed it relevant information, whatever you feel it. Expanded content. Oh, now you learned it. This is what I want to do. Ask it to provide a summary for you just for the meeting, and then you start your work. So if I always get a block when I start something, I always get a block, but I have few ideas. Now this feeds me the idea and I go. So always remember when you're working with ChatGPT, it's context first, not content first. If you ask immediately a question on the first one, it feels like it can only tell you what it knows. You need to first give it the context. So here, you can do it for many things, but here, the intention is for a meeting. You need to discuss the project. Here is a project timeline. Here are the current challenges that you're facing. And this is the feedback from stakeholders. Now, what do you think about this? Remember, it will also give you objective, unbiased opinion because it's not human. It's not subjective at all. This is wrong. Change this. This is right. This sounds good. So then it summarizes the key points and you can take it and you can nail it. Then you can use it to revert back again. I'll come back to this. So promise me you're going to use this and do this. This second action. First, it's at the very end. You are going to create your own avatar. Who are you? Some people have tattoos, right? Go and create your own avatar in Mind Journey and then tag me. And then put AI-powered beta, because I just want you to enjoy this, because you just need to be yourself and the AI tools help you to do that. And some of these tools, especially if you're working long, late, attending meetings and stuff, you could cut the clutter big time. Don't go for anything. If you don't want to do anything for bid work, at least use it to help yourself. Responding to email messages, same. Copy the message, put it in here and say, can you write a friendly response back to this person? Just say, yes, I'm available for this time. And yeah, no, I'm not available, but just let her know, these are the few concerns. Bingo, just writes it, big bang, go. So you can tone it off. I use it a lot. Meeting notes, we already touched. Baseline research, if there's anything you want to know about recently, we did a big research on this. My researcher did not use this, spent like 1 month, 1.5 months, 60 plus sources, interviewed over 100 plus people, came out with this. Then I went and tested ChatGPT. It's a healthcare market research that we did. And I created an output. It took me like maybe 8 to 9 hours for that. The research report that this person produced, interviewing all these people, checking all the other reports, other contents, etc., ChatGPT was able to do the same thing, or at least 60 to 70% of it in 8 hours. So you can use it. Yes, it can. No, it can't. It can't research information from the internet, but it has a lot of inputs that's been given to it. So because as it knows, it's September 21, 2021. That's the latest. So you can still use it, but next is a kickoff meeting. Again, now the same thing applies here. You just, how can you feed the information? Your received tender documents, remember, is 4,000 words. cut, copy, paste. You have tools here that you can use it to convert it into text files, .txt files, slice it and dice it, feed it. If you have to have a debrief session with your team, if you want to pull a slides, etc., create a thread, put 4,000 words at a time, 4,000 words at a time, put 4,000 words, summarize it for me, 4,000, summarize it for me, ding, ding, ding. It tells it. Now you've learned this 100-page document. What's the key pain point? Does it agree with you? Use it as a sounding board. Again, you haven't added any confidential information. You have added your tender document. You haven't written anything. What does it tell you? Right? So it's there. You can use it smartly. And then you can just go from there. So thank you for joining, Amy. How's it is? No, it's secure. It's very secure. Again, if you don't want to add the client's name on it, just put a tender document and maybe cleanse. If you have maybe convert it into a Word document, replace the client's name into, say, client X, and then put forward. Just make it anonymous, but still use it. But again, this is the thing. Don't be bogged down by this is the name of the client, this is the name of the company, this is the name of my company, etc. Anonymize it and use it. Right? It doesn't know. Right? It doesn't know. So please, don't. That's the main thing I want to cover on this. So use it, intention, relevant information, expand it, generate summary, start your work. So this is how we do. So you can feed information, get something, but then you can also use it to see, okay, now this is it. What are the 5 pain points that I need to do? Right? These are the 5 pain points that the customer said. What do you think we should do? What do you think we should do? It kind of tells you, this is the thing. This is how exactly what we did. This is how we did this. Before I even went to the subject matter experts, before I even went to the solution people, I already had a blueprint with me saying this is what we are going to do. Then just have it, suggest potential solution strategies. So very, very quickly, your thought process, remember, this is a baseline draft. You can get to a baseline draft very, very, very quickly. Anonymize it and use it. That's my main message. So before you do that, it's accept in text file. And then that's how we're going to do it. So again, how many of you use Microsoft Teams? We all use Microsoft Teams, right? Anybody don't use Microsoft Teams? Because we normally use Zoom, but most of our clients use Microsoft Teams. You use Microsoft Teams, right? Yes, one. So, so primarily, Microsoft Teams, the good news is, I'll tell you when I come back. So if you're using Microsoft Teams, follow this, take a picture. How many meetings that you attend that you end up taking the action notes, right? So you have a Microsoft Teams notes, because I can cut it down. If you work through ChatGPT before, have an objective, this becomes very easy. And I'll let you know about the meeting discipline in a while. Again, this is nothing to do with confidential information. This is about how structured you are, how robust your bidding, your approaches, your leadership skills. That's it. So you're scheduling a meeting there. Then once the meeting is done, you're recording the meeting and it transcribes it. How many of you have actually used Microsoft transcription after the meeting to capture the notes? Anyone? Anyone hasn't used it? Yeah, it's cool, right? It's important. It cuts the clutter. But if you talk for 1 hour, then it loses the plot. That's why you just need to train it. So you just need to assume Microsoft Teams is a bot. It's listening to your conversation. So here in this meeting, we have John, Sarah, Lydia, Pasca, Preeti, Priya, Kelly, Angie. So now the purpose of this meeting is X, Y, Z. You are going to follow the same process. Set the contacts, set this, set that. And you need to assume you're feeding this information, which means it then starts to record it in proper way, rather than to say, hi guys, we are going to sit down, do this, nothing. Bring the discipline thing. Then action to Angie. Sorry, Angie, I just saw you. So action to Angie. Angie is, you need to give back the first draft of the question number 4 and 6 by Thursday. This. So it transcribes it, whether it's 20 pages or 5 pages, etc. Keep it to transcribe that. Note down what's the decision. Once the meeting is started, start the recording. Yes, once the meeting started, 100%. Once the meeting started, assume a bot is listening to you and make it very clear and concise. Guys, the objective of this meeting is XYZ. This is what we want to achieve from that. This is the issues that we face. This is why we are gathered. This is what I already know. This is what I'm missing. This is what it is. Then at the very end, summarize the actions. Summarize the actions. Then you do the transcription. Yes. Yeah, looks like there is a typo. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. So obviously, it's not human. It's not fully AI generated content. I was involved, so I made an error. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. So what happens here is, you don't need to go to 0.678. That's like second level of things. Then when you get the transcription, you add a transcription to ChatGPT and said, pull out all the actions. And to who? Agent pulls out all the actions in like, I don't know, 30 seconds. Copy paste it, send it to the team. You are not sitting and listening. You're not sitting and transcribing. You're not sitting and doing. Your meeting gets done in 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now you're more disciplined. And then you just go from there. So if you have any questions for now, just add it in the chat box. Otherwise, you just move on. So now you have got it. And if you use Power Automate or anything, which is the next level, which comes with Microsoft subscription anyway, you could actually add these actions to the Power Automate, which you can configure with Outlook. Then it just reminds them part of your work is, we did a survey and we said close to 85% of the time we spend time within our team chasing them for information, reviewing the information collected, asking them for feedback, all these things. Power Automate can automate it for you. After this meeting, actions is for 6 people. These are the actions, send it to them. It will remind them, hey, 1 day to go. Hey, 30 seconds to go. Oh, sorry, all these things in. So you can, at the moment, it's not integrated, but in 3 months' time, all the Microsoft products will be integrated with ChatGPT. But now you can start to work with the new world. That's my thing. And this is just 2 or 3 things, but we have over 30 that we're going to do that in the bootcamp. I think if you join the bootcamp, you can do it. So keep it very simple. Before anybody calls the teams, if you are hosting a Teams call, now you're going to promise me that you are going to have the discipline and you're going to ask ChatGPT, frame your agenda, go solid, tell them you are a leader. You are not going to sit and waste my time every day, and I need to give up my time with my family and with my own personal time to sit and do the work. I am not. Or you do the work more effectively, you can do even more of better work. You can use it for strategic thinking. You can use it for creativity, right? Not do this. I know I've any 21 days sprint attendees here. We went through this. This is a self-care program that we launched in January, activity inventory that we worked through. You can use this now. One of the things you can list, again, actions from this workshop is list out all the activities that you do as part of your profession. List, open your calendar, check your email, what you have been doing, attending meetings, sending emails, attending calls, going for conferences, doing all, but pick up the most frequent activities that takes 80% of your time, list them all, and then bucket them as what are the things I'm going to stop doing it. Nah, I hate this, but I still need to do this. It's grinding me. What are the things I need to delegate? What are the things I want to do more? Before, you need to find somebody to delegate. Today, you have your AI friend to delegate. Look at it in the simplest form. How much of the mundane, repeatable task can you delegate? Today, our average, we don't call them propose manager anymore. We call AI propose manager within our team, because our AI propose manager in this 2.5 months have let go 12 to 15 hours a week because she was going through the grind. And now she's more creative. Now she's more strategic. Now she's building up her more capability. This could not be for you, but again, even 5 hours a week, that gives you more time to do more. That's it. So again, this is the next action. So again, there's a template available. If you want a template, just ping it over to me and we can do that. Again, in part 2, we will cover this. But for now, ChatGPT, the plus version is $20 a month. Midjourney, we already covered for images. Anybody use Jarvis? Anybody heard of Jarvis? Any marketers here? No? Okay. Jarvis is so far in the marketing domain, but Jarvis is going to enter the proposal domain. We are going to bring all these tech vendors into our AI series going forward. Because what you have seen so far is not AI, is not at all AI. What's coming up is already there, is what we learn from the Jarvis. If Jarvis, we use Jarvis for what? Again, we'll cover that in part 2. We use Jarvis for headlines, action captions. Jarvis can read, especially when you have a content, where you read the content, and then if you want to create an article, if you want to create a summary, or if you want to put it in an email subject, you want to create something really effective, Jarvis does that for you. It's a very, very powerful tool, especially for websites and other things, and especially for any information that requires you to have a punchy headline, if you want a search engine optimization, or if you want to ensure that everything is lined up properly, the Jarvis is your tool. It's only $99 for marketers. This is a God's gift. And Quillbot normalizes, for example, you have created a basic structure from AI, because it's you still fed the information. AI didn't create. You influenced, you molded, you inspired, you optimized AI to create the content. But still, you're like, still AI content. You use Quillbot. It's $99 for a year. We will look into that next time, in the bootcamp, we'll go deeper on everything. But for now, $99, Quillbot. Go and check Quillbot. Anybody have heard of Quillbot? Yeah, that's it. Canva, if you have used Canva for, that's it. Some of you know, some of you don't. Again, that's the whole purpose. So there is a lot more tools to it, but for now, we are just going to have part 1, part 2, and in bootcamp, we are going to more. So originality AI is like, yes, somebody is doing AI. So it's okay if they are good people, they are going to optimize AI rather than to have the entire stuff created by AI and then send it to you. Originality.ai checks the AI content, and it just tells you like, okay, this is totally AI. Yes, there's nothing wrong with it. It still answers the question, but it at least tells you it's human written content or AI written content. Remember, people talk a lot about plagiarism and stuff, right? So what's plagiarism? You have different sources, but you don't put the sources in. But here we are moving into a gray area, because the sources is all here. But again, you can ask ChatGPT. Again, this is the mistake people do. When it gives you a content, when you don't have any inputs, you can ask, what's the sources behind it? Then it lists the sources. Then you can go and put those sources in, optimize the sources. Originality AI is for that. Content at scale, we use it big time for long form articles. Our team here, we generate 3 articles a day, 100 articles a month, 1,200 articles a year. That's what we do with this tool, content at scale. Whisper AI, I already talked about it. It's pretty much ChatGPT in an audio format. That's already launched, but it's still not been released to the public, but we have access, but it's the same. Instead of putting prompts in, you can do it. DALL-E is the same from OpenAI. So that's the thing. So the second point is this. This is our own model, but you can look into this. Number one is what you can do AI for. You can use it. ChatGPT is just one tool, but you can use it to address your writer's block, right? The number on the left side is totally your number. I don't know how much you as a consultant charge per hour, how much you as a leader in your business go for consultants, how much they go for, but there is a price for it. The human-only content takes days, and it gives you a baseline, right? And see whether you could implement AI tools to create a baseline. This is our model. This is our model, at a very basic version. If you're working on the same sector, to create a 2,500 word response, it took us 8 hours. But with ChatGPT, by feeding it the right information, and also with content at scale, it happened at 1 hour, right? So but it's promoted by human. That's the point. Next, you have a human editor, but here you have AIO editor, AI optimized editor, which means your writer still does it. You can put the answer in the response here, anonymize it, put the response from the evaluation criteria and say, hey, you AI tool, evaluate my response and say, how much do you think I'm going to score? What do you think I'm missing? Ask it. It gives you feedback. Go to your AI, go to a human writer and say, add this. Use it as an intervention tool. There's a lot of things that you could do, because before, if you have a 3-month tool, 3-month project, etc., now you can do. This is our model. You can take a picture. Human only content, AI or proposed content. Baseline version comes in. Second one, you can still go with that. But our metric here says is that once you optimize it, once you feed the information, once you know what you're doing, you can do bits 5 times faster. Fine. It could be even 2 times faster for you. That's okay. My main point is, does it stop you from doing mundane tasks? Does it not irritate you, frustrate you? That's the main thing. As a leader, is your team happy? They are isolated, working from home. Now, what can I do to help them to do it? And if you have cost saving, it's better. Reinvest back to them, or you could do more bits. That's the thing. So what it also does, it also personalizes styles. Before, Like when you edit the document, my style is different, your style. Today with these AI tools, you have at least 20 different templates, professional, actually standard, etc., etc. You could fine tune it. When English is not my first language, I used to be concerned. It doesn't make sense. But today I don't. So this is the list that AI tells, or we have used it to enable proposals. And then you can just go ahead and check where you can use it. So this is our bid development journey. You have your own pipeline. You have your own process. Now is the time to sit down with your team to just say, hey guys, I went for a webinar. I already know this. What can we do? This is our long journey. We have an 8-9 stage process. We work with clients, and then the clients have their own process, and then we work with them to just do what it takes. The previous slide is this one. So there are 9 different areas within proposal development that we could use AI enabled. I'm not saying AI will take over. It's AI infused, AI optimized, right? And this is the thing. You can take a picture if you want to, but we won't be fully sharing the slides because some is our IP. So let's move on. This is the bid development journey for us. And then we sat down January, February, and then say, okay, what is it for us? We then created this AI optimized bid development journey. We went for version 2. Version 2, again, this could be too much on your eyes. Sorry about it. 9 stages again stays there, but we are cluttering that into number 1. We are splitting the stages into 3 parts here. Number 1, what is it we are doing here? For market and opportunity analysis on stage, and this is pre-bid, what you call the capture stage. I'm not going to go and recruit a capture manager, give him a day rate or do what it takes. I'm going to do basic baseline capture. I'm going to use this for this. Then I'm going to feed what I already know. I'm going to do it, right? So the first line is all pretty much 100% AI, 100% AI. And I'm not just talking about ChatGPT. I'm talking about other tools here as well. So you now need to go and see what are the 100% AI stuff that you can go for. When I say 100% AI, you still need to feed it, right? The second one is it gave the information. Now, for example, in stage 2, it gave you some information, comparative analysis and industry trends and, what's the pain points, etc. Now you're working with it to do that. That's your second stage where human and AI collaborates. Third one is totally human. This is why AI will never take over humans. And you might have seen from the previous charts and stuff, it can't be creative. It can't be strategic. It doesn't have common sense. You have to feed it, right? So when you are bid, we can do this for you, or you go and check yourself and then say, okay, now it's a clean thing. I have talent crisis. I have resource crisis before I recruit somebody, before I go for support, or I have a support. How am I going to optimize it? Go for it. Same thing here, progress reporting. Every week you need to give an update on where the project is, team update calls, sit down and do teams calls, governance reviews. What can you do? Right? Ask yourself, optimize things. Now, future of bidding. This is, I know I ran out of time, but we still have 10 minutes. But future of bidding. These tools are today isolated. But as I told you, most of us use Microsoft products. Microsoft is invested in OpenAI. Whisper AI is here. MindJourney is theirs. Discord is theirs. Theirs means they have invested, which means they know what they want to do. They are in the process of integrating all these, which means today, see, ChatGPT added GPT to the, they don't have a choice. They have to, otherwise they'll be out. Because today, SharePoint can equally compete with your RFPIOs and Lupios. Once it happens, for free, you don't need to pay them. I'm sorry. Because it can now talk to each other. You can feed it. You can do what it takes. It does the knowledge library much, much easier, quicker, provided you know how it feeds it. You now create a knowledge library. You now create what we call the prompt codes, your brand guidelines. Similarly, you create prompt guidelines. What is possible, what's not possible, and try to integrate OneDrive, SharePoint, Word, Excel. All these tools are now in the process of being integrated with ChatGPT, which means you can now start to do. You don't need to go into the tool. You can now connect it within the tool, and you can do what it takes. And Power Automate, Power BI, and OneNote is another thing. It's all been integrated. So, and every single thing it saves hours here, and that's it. But like what they have integrated, like, recently, I just saw the post, yes, You have a Google Docs. Yes, that could be integrated as well. And like Loopio and RFPO has done, because they will be integrating ChatGPT towards their own thing, right? Whereas we don't. We don't. So what happens is every company has their own thing. And as you know, they already have it. So which means we create our own video apps and stuff because of the data production and other things, and we customize it and we do that for other things. So that's there. But again, you can train the library. You know, at the moment, AI use this, but you can create a version of that. Like what do you call, like the majority of the players now, today's, what's the name? Shopify and big players have already integrated, right, for their customers. So you could take a version of OpenAI, which is all these tools, create an instance within your own company with your IT team, and put your knowledge library that only you have access to that others don't have. Unless you tick the button, it won't be given to others. So the original library stays as it is, their terabytes, but your own library stays with you. You could customize it for yourself. So then you add all the content, your knowledge library, your prompts, etc. Then you feed the information that becomes sitting in your own SharePoint for you, customize it for you, and you can learn and do it. So that's the thing. So we are moving and we are on a mission now. You know, we just want to do this again. When we released BitBuddy in 2016, we released a self-care journal. That was 7 years ago. It's already gone. And you know, we are going through this, but AI is a tool that helps you to do that. Again, start with something simple. Start and familiarize yourself, start with it. So gradually we are moving on. We have a vision now. I just want to go for modern bidders. And this is what we are aiming for. 100 business AI powered bidding, and not just tool agnostic, but generic tools. Generic tools, already existing tools. How can we do that? With open, it's an open AI, it should be open. That's why we are going with this. Because our mission is democratize bidding knowledge, if you know already. And this is it. Our aim is to have 1,000 AI-powered bidders in the next 3 years. One of the partner program that we have, I think some of the bid agencies have reached out to us, and that's what we are going to do with them, because we can't do everything ourselves, and we don't have presence everywhere anyway. And the AI-powered bidder bootcamp is going to start in 2 weeks' time. That's it. And then this is it. You create your own bid process assessment, optimize it. That's it. So now, yeah, listen to this talk, and I didn't have time to go through and show you how I created this. How do you identify yourself now? Press 2 if you continue to survive. Press 1. You are going to promise me that you are going to take this AI adventure. It's not hard. Don't take it too personal. Don't think too much. Just try it out. That's my whole thing. You know, that's my wholehearted. It helped me when I was alone, when I was fighting my own battle, when I didn't want to share that to others. This helped me, right? And that's my whole thing. Please do try it out. And next week, same time, we are going to have this. It's part. And obviously, I will make it as humanly possible with this. But if you want to continue, and you know, this is the bootcamp. The link is there. Again, if any of my team is there, please do add the link here. We will start to work gradually, because I know some of you will be in the journey. As my Arjun, my Buddhist Arjun, which is my mentor, always tell you, you can't force a fruit to ripe quickly. It takes time. Today, you have started the journey. At some point, it will happen. But this is a tsunami that's going to come and hit us. So anybody who's already made up the mind, you could join this. But anybody who needs a little bit more nudge, a little bit more thing, you're going to come on this later. But primarily, I will continue to inspire you. But that's my thing, because I was frustrated. I was on my own and doing all these things, but this helps. So this is the link, AI-powered bidder. You could go and have a look. And let me see whether I can do that. We are just opening for the waiting list, and additional information will be shared to you, because we are going to use 30 use cases during the day, and you're going to come out with your own bid. It's not a generic training course, it's a mentoring program. So you come out with your own bid. One person can bring in 3 additional people, which means 4 members in a team can join in. And collectively, you can produce this, which means, hey, you understand the tools. Second, 30 different use cases like what we saw with Microsoft Teams, and stripping out the requirements and taking meeting notes, etc. Then most importantly, it's going to be based on your bid, but you don't need to even share. You can share it to me, but we'll sign an NDA. And what that means is you are going to bring uniquely for yourself. And most importantly, at the end of the day, you now need to know within your company how you're going to optimize it for yourself. That's it. So the challenge, the Discord challenge is, you're going to go into the mind journey and go and create your own avatar. I just want to see your AI version. It's not that scary. Go and create your own version and then do it. Right? It's great. Send it and see yourself differently, because embrace AI. That's the whole point. And then, as I summarize it, what did we cover today before I open up for the last questions? I just want you to know that you're not alone. It's a mindset shift. We are working from home. You're happy working from home. Sometimes we don't need to have a friend. Oh, I need to do all these things. Today you have a friend, right? A friend who don't judge you. That's the main thing. Who don't judge you, who don't annoy you, who don't give you more work, but is there for you to get your work done. Please do conduct your activity inventory, and please to use the 5-step AI process to just extract the ChatGPT and play with it. Right? If you want to join, you can join the waiting list, and we'll share further information on this, because you're going to take 20 people and you're going to go work with them. And the next one will be opening in June. But at that point, it will be much more high valued program. But for now, that's it. So, and then Discord challenge is there. But this is my underlying point. Human-only content is coming to an end. I'm sorry to say that. It's going to come to an end. Now, it's going to be AI-inspired content. But as I mentioned, very soon you are going to find people saying, hey, this is AI-free, human-only content. Pay me 3 times more, and I'm going to generate premium-only content. But we live in a world where we need to serve majority of the people, right? Especially in the UK, where food inflation is 20%, where over maybe close to 20 to 24% of the children who goes to school, this is UK, who doesn't have, they're malnourished. This is not, this is personal to me. And we run many food clubs and food banks here to feed children. Not easy. Every penny that we save somewhere can be utilized something. But we are going to move in there, which means we are going to save some time, save some money, and get back our frustration, and we are going to sort ourselves out. The question is, if people are going to come and say, I'm going to charge premium, I'm going to do this, it's human-free content, not everybody will be buying. That's my full point. So the whole thing is here. Most importantly, empower yourself, do what it takes, and that's it. This is Cuckoo, my AI. I call Cuckoo. Many of you know, and many of you here have personally reached out to me to check my well-being. So when I was down, this is what happened, right? And this is what happened. In 1 week, I need to stand up, and this is what AI did to me. The 3 AI tools, I collectively call them Cuckoo. I say good morning to them every day. And this is what they have done, right? And so you can do it yourself. Do what it takes. And most importantly, as people, thank you. And if there is any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you March the 4th. But until then, stay happy, stay healthy. If there is any questions, stay. I'm going to stay for a few more minutes, and you can ask the questions. But I'm here. But hope I nudged you enough for you to go and try what you have to try. But any questions you could ask me here. But don't worry, next week we have you can have a lot more questions. It's called AMA, which means ask me anything. So there'll be less content and a lot more Q&A, and you can open the call and you can ask me the questions here. But for now, if there's not many questions, I'm just do what it takes. But I hope this was useful. And thanks for all the love and support. And the recording will be available, so you could share that to your friends, and anybody who would like to go through that same link will be available. You can watch it again. A summarized version of the slides will be sent to you, because otherwise you can watch the recording, take a snapshot of those pictures. But any other questions, I'm here for the next 10 or 15 minutes. So thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week, 4 p.m. And all my Californian friends, you're going to see the recording. See, I am nice. I've moved it back by 1 hour just so that you could join. So next time I'll be much more South Asian specific for Australian and Singapore and other colleagues who are also upset with this. But otherwise, thank you guys. Have a good rest of the day. Look after yourself, and I will see you very soon. Take good care.